And we're heads up here at the Party Poker Premier League. Tonight, 4 players compete in the heads up playoffs. The 2 winners will sit down at the coveted final table. Season 7 of the Premier League has it all. 12 players came to Montreal with the aim of making the final table and leaving with the $400,000 first prize. 4 seats have been decided. Jeff Gross, Brian Rast, Sorrel Mitzi, and Dan Coleman will all be taking their seats at the Playground Poker Club. But who will join them? Tonight, 5th plays 8th and 6th plays 7th in a best-of-3 heads-up playoffs. First up, it's Daniel Jungleman Cates versus Jason Koon.
Jason Koon had to watch the final match from the comms box,
I'm more tilted than any person at that table right now from that last hand.
as his fate was in the hands of others. In the end, it was Brian Rast who pushed him out of the top 4 and left him having to make the final table through the playoffs.
Getting so ready for this. Don't look at my doodles. Look at that math. Be impressed.
Heads up, it's all I play on mine really, and I play a ton of short stack no limit, so this is kind of my wheelhouse. It's what I'm comfortable at. Sadly, I do draw a Jungleman who's an incredibly good heads up player, known as one of the world's best, and we're basically flipping coins for a seat at this final table.
Jungleman was also on the sidelines for the last heat. His heads up spot was close to guaranteed, but he had to wait it out to see who he'd face.
Jason plays online, and I imagine he's going to be a tough opponent, especially in this format, which is his forte, not exactly mine, even though heads up is my forte. Yeah, I expect he'll be pretty tough, and it would have been nicer to have an easier opponent, but you know.
This is for a place at the Premier League Poker 7 final table. Of course, in heat number 6, we witnessed a great marathon heads-up match.
5,000.
This could be even better. It's like Beauty and the
Call.
Beast. You don't know who is who. They're both online wizards. And Scott Seiver, Brian Rast are here. Guys, you just handicap this. 2 guys playing perfect.
Check.
I would handicap
Check.
this very, very, very slightly to Jungleman's favor.
Check.
I mean, Jungleman basically is a heads-up, no-limit hold'em player. Koon, from my
7,000.
understanding, I mean, plays
7,000 call.
has played heads-up, of course, but also I think his background's more like tournaments and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is right up Jungleman's wheelhouse.
Check.
Backdoor flush,
Oh,
and we
wow.
may see the first bit of Jungleman's temper here if he decides to, because that's the kind of card you have to pay off on the river, right?
18,000. Full.
No.
He played it perfect.
Oh
He wasn't calling for the gutter on the
Yeah.
turn either. He thought he was good.
Yeah, the problem is that a lot of the time Jason would check back a 3 there, but now that the 3 paired, he gets to value bet it, so there actually are a lot more value bets in his range there. It looks like a good card, but secretly a bad card actually, because Jason's going to value bet more hands that he wouldn't, so you have to fold the ace highs.
And Jungle just processed that instantly. And he's more of like a wizard guy. He's not going to bring that. I mean, he'd just be happy to sit there and not talk.
Exactly. He's going to play a very, very strong game, but it's going to be almost identical to the Jungleman, but slightly worse would be my guess. And that just doesn't work. You have to come at him from different angles if you think you can't really eclipse what he's doing.
So you would pretty much talk to him nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels like there won't be anything said the whole match.
Check.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if they say anything.
Check. $4,000.
So he checked this back on the flop, the Jungle, didn't he? And why bet it
Call.
now?
Not sure. It's pretty interesting. Honestly, it's kind of just a line you would take, giving not a lot of
Check.
respect to what you think Jason's going to be doing here.
Well, Jason's going to pick him off for this
Yeah,
point.
he's going to snap all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen that a lot this week.
Yeah.
The river just, oh, how could this happen?
Oh wait, yeah.
I don't know what exactly he's trying to rep, like a check back.
He's honestly not thinking about repping there. He's just like,
Thinking about
I have the
Jason.
nut low. I refuse to check this back.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a problem. He can't. He just doesn't have his arsenal.
But
Yeah, he just does not have the ability.
Jason Koon looking focused and pushing out in front in these early exchanges. Heat 1 saw Jason Koon play perfectly, but he got cold decked. First by Jungleman,
I'm so good at poker.
I call.
and then by Dan Coleman.
It's like unreal. How do I get out of this place?
He finished up with 3 points. Heat 2 and his luck changed, flopping trips against Seiver's flush.
I know what you mean.
All the money went in, and Koon spiked to 7 to give him a full house.
Sorry, buddy.
He used these chips wisely, taking down the Heat for maximum points, putting him to the top of the league. Fortune turned in Heat 3.
This is like ridiculous.
Koon couldn't stop Sorel Mizzy's rampage and notched up just 3 points. In Heat 5, he should have been in heads up,
Good timing.
but Gross hit runner
For Jeff. I'm not even actually surprised.
to keep himself in the game. Koon could hang on no more
No, my mind's just absolutely blown. Good luck.
and notched up 9 points. He had to watch Brian Rast take a top 4 spot from him from the commentary booth, and now his only way through to the final is a heads-up victory over Daniel Cates.
I was actually thinking to myself last night, like, why is this, it's kind of affecting me more than most tournaments. And then I got to thinking, like, 1, it's been a grind. 2, there's been some really unfortunate things happen. But most importantly, it's just one of those really cool things where you're competing against a lot of the peers that you admire most. And it's a show that I've been watching since the beginning of my poker career, and I'm here, and I'm playing it, and I want to win the damn thing.
You get very little time in these.
Wow.
Blinds
2K,
up
4K?
already.
yeah, now they're at 10.
So he has
he's
what,
at 10
12
bigs.
blinds? Yeah, 12 big blinds and a half.
Call.
He's gonna rip.
He's
it.
just going to pile it here.
Oh wow, no. The
Oh,
small-
he's going to try and
Raise
induce
to
him.
11,000.
He can't.
Wow.
Jungle's had enough.
Jungle's over it.
Jason's got, that's got to be concerning a little bit. I mean,
No,
he
look
loves
at
his hand.
Jungle's
I mean,
face. He's just so tilted here. Yeah.
Oh wow.
well,
Jungle can't win. Oh, he has the deuce. I didn't even see the deuce.
Can
Well-
he pile it in there?
6,000.
he might.
No, he's going to call here.
Call.
Wow.
Calling
This
is.
The problem is Koon's hand is too good to keep bluffing.
Right,
So
yeah.
Jungle's going to win this hand probably.
Maybe though. I mean, the problem is that Koon can't really think Jungle has.
Check.
Snap check. Just
Yeah.
needs a clean one. He's going to win. And he doesn't
There
get
he
it.
goes. He's going to bet it.
Yeah,
He knows
he's
his
gotta
hand's a
value
lock.
bet
His
this.
hand's a lock.
I don't know. He might. I don't know.
Jungle would never limp call an ace here this shallow.
Yeah, that's why I almost feel like the turn is a reasonable spot, because if he doesn't have an ace, what's he
But
calling
maybe
him
he
with?
checks to get him to. I
Like,
mean, I don't know.
guess like the only thing you're beating would be like king.
I think you got to bet
7.
tiny here. Bet like 11,000.
He's going big.
Right, trying to get called by what?
33,000.
That's
By
a
just
weird.
A deuce, a 6.
He just thinks Jungle always has a pair here, and
Yeah.
he just says, "I dare you to call, bud."
But,
That's
I
like
mean,
most
Jungle
of that's
kinda
most
had
of
it all
Jungle's
figured out.
stack there.
I think I've won like 2 pots.
I've had some hands.
I hope so. I'm getting bluffed every hand.
It was a good opening heat for Season 5 runner-up Daniel Jungleman Cates, finishing with 9 points.
I think so. Turn.
Probably played mostly well.
Jungleman rode his luck in Heat 2, hitting an ace on the river to keep him alive. 7 more points in that one took him to second place on the league standings. It wasn't Jungleman's night in Heat 4. Done over on the river against Locke, and out with 1 point to fall down into the playoff zone. Jungleman's temper flared in his last heat.
Please, all in.
Makes me so mad. It's like, oh, I know what I do there. 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 Okay, maybe I don't know what there, but then like I get in that spot.
But fourth place was enough to scrape into the heads-ups, and he's still in with a chance of lifting the trophy.
It's cool to win the Premier League. I'd be like really excited if I won. Well, pretty excited, and it would be my biggest tournament win, which is very cool. And yeah, I'm hoping to win, of course, if that surprises anybody.
This has been a massacre.
4,000 big
Of course, it
money.
is only the first one.
Yeah, it took, what, 4 minutes?
I think it's taken 4 minutes. Life support.
All in.
What's the total? 30?
30. 25.
He's going to call him a jack high.
He's
and
going to
just
call, obviously, Jack 7 suited.
Calls him with jack
I didn't
high.
have 7-4 off this. Oh my god. That's
There it is. Oh, he threw the cards.
7-5 off?
Jolly.
I think it's a
Jolly
shove
Jungle.
7-5.
Yeah.
Is it? Really? Okay.
Wow. Just over.
These are big. Oh,
Wow. Pretty good flop for
Pretty
Jungleman.
good.
Nice equity.
Premier League.
Premier League.
Yeah, it's one of the few flops where he doesn't flop a 5, but his equity actually increased.
That's a Brit.
Now he's down to a 5 or a 6.
Oh, wow.
This is why you shove 7-5 off, Steve.
Jolly Jungle.
He says sheepishly.
This is actually that hurt. That's mentally
Yeah,
tough.
that's
that really
brutal.
hurts. Like he's got the match won, he's on free rolling to the next one, and now it's like it's not even over the first
Yeah.
one. Those really hurt. It's hard to finish those heads up
For
matches.
sure.
It is hard to
You got him
finish.
dominated, suited, dominant. It's just like that is bad.
All in.
All in.
Call.
Call.
Oh wow! Look at that! And look at this.
Oh, wow.
We're one. I mean,
From them being
he's
tied
live.
again.
Yeah, they'd be dead tied. Jason's gonna be.
I mean, I just have a feeling Jason's winning this hand, though.
Yeah, it feels.
I
that
think
way.
everyone else can feel that, too.
No, this one's. We're in the mood today. It's all about the short stack winning and long heads
I
up.
don't know.
battles.
Jason's
Jason.
making Broadway this hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a.
Yeah.
Well, somebody might
Scott
make
is
Broadway.
has been very tuned into
Yeah,
this stuff.
he knows. It's hard to beat a guy that knows who's going to win all ends.
Jungle looks very focused.
No, it doesn't matter.
I know.
He can focus as hard as he wants. This one ain't coming. Yeah, see?
Wow.
Good game?
That's why I lost.
Well, that's 2 out of 3.
How
Yeah,
could I
of course.
win?
That's why I jammed the 5s into the
Man,
kings.
match.
Yeah.
Good
It was
game,
time.
Jason said. It's 2 out of 3 since the Jungleman. Give me another chance.
Coming up after the break, we find out who will be the 5th name sitting down at the Premier League final table here at Playground Poker Club in Montreal. Welcome back to the Playground Poker Club. The first heads-up playoff for one of the 2 remaining places for the Premier League final table is underway.
1-0 for Jason Koon, the Jungleman on the ropes. And Scott, there is also this feeling about the Jungleman, like everyone
4,000.
knows that if you raise his big blind in this ring game, he just will call.
He just will. I think he's just like, I'm the best. I can take anyone off of my big blind. And honestly, he's probably right.
Raised to 14,000.
He could have chosen to flat there, right?
Yeah, but I think he's just
Yeah.
enjoying applying all the pressure on
Call
jungle and wants to
14,000.
keep it going.
Yeah.
And he's not going to fold to a jam, so
No,
he just
he wasn't just
decides,
gonna fold.
I'm going to go for it here. I
Now,
like
this
that.
is kind of not what Jason wanted.
No, definitely
Was
not.
Jungleman calling. You know, and he's out of position with 7s. He would have preferred if Jungleman raised or folded. But I mean, the way
Check.
this match
Yeah.
has been going, probably would
Check.
have been better for him if Jungleman just folded.
I was about to say that I think it's a great flop to just check fold and be
Yeah.
done with the hand, and I'm glad to see that he's doing that.
Check. Check.
Yeah, you don't always have to continuation bet just because you were the pre-flopper.
Oh, no!
Wow, that's
I'm
brutal.
surprised Jungle
Check.
didn't bet the turn.
Yeah, he's betting now.
He's gonna get checked.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Jungle's own fault for not betting.
16,000.
And why didn't he?
Honestly, I don't know. I think he just was a little scared of the check raise. He thought that Jason might be good enough to check an ace twice. And then he tells himself here, well, there's no chance he checks it a third time. Jungle's going to lose it here.
Oh my God.
Any bluffs in Jason's range right now?
He's not going to call off, I don't think.
I mean, this is
honestly, I love it with 2 diamonds.
Yeah,
I would check the flop with like baby diamonds here, try to get the free, and then just do it.
It's a pretty sick bluff.
And because Jungleman checked back the turn, he has no aces, right?
He just has no aces.
He has a king like a lot, or like maybe.
Jungle has like the best hand he could have, basically.
Yeah.
And he knows that, so it's a pretty interesting spot.
It's
like he knows he has the best hand he has here, and that he's supposed to call. But he just also knows that it's not good.
He's so good. He does know exactly.
He knows his beat, but he knows like
it's like your king. It's like your king jack of kings. Like where it's just like, how can I not be good? But I know I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
What a card, though. I mean, sick.
And now Jungle's down
that hurt.
to 66. He's
Jungle's
a 2-to-1
down
dog.
on his luck.
That was exactly the spot that you were in with the king jack against the 2 kings. That was an incredible thing that you said. What was it? This is an impossible. I can't win here.
I can't possibly win, and I can't possibly fold.
Yeah. I mean, Jungle knows if he's folding that there, it's pretty exploitable. But I guess he's.
It's also for life.
But that goes back to my point about these people being balanced or not. It's not really a real thing because right there he just made a fold because he thought that he needed to.
Jungle
is over it.
Jungle is super over what's going on.
Jason's going to continue. Jason's continuing here.
He's going to call.
His hand's too good. He's going to call.
Call 12,000.
Oh man, Jungle's in a bad spot here.
Yeah, maybe yes, maybe no. He's going to win a lot of flops where no one flops anything. It's a fine
Jungle's
spot.
going to bet like everything.
Jungle's plus EV.
Oh, Jungle.
Oh, Jungle's
in trouble.
Jungle, he can't. Nothing's going right for him.
This
Let's be honest. Every
Queen of Hearts,
decision is
so
not
it's going to
working
go back
out.
call.
Yeah.
Wow, 8,000. It's very tiny for that kind of board.
Call
if you really wanted to tilt Jungleman here, you just stuff it, and then he folds, and then he starts. Then he would start talking.
Yeah. I really don't hate it.
It's not the best play, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad one at all.
Jungle's going to bet again here.
You, by the way, you get like ace queen and ace jack to like probably.
Wow.
And he's done this so he can try and bluff the river, or
honestly,
just because he's
I think he's just giving up and realizes he can't win a hand no matter what, and that's like a tilt check.
Wow. He's going to go.
28,000.
Beautiful.
Go on the Jungle.
Jungle.
Wow, Koon snap folded it.
Yeah, where did he pull that one out of? Is he inside Koon's head a little bit there?
That was it. I mean,
that was a wizard play, right?
That was
Jungleman needed that.
Yeah,
huge for Jungle.
That was huge. I mean, he's basically out if Koon calls it, but now he's back in the match.
He got a little lucky.
He finally got one through.
Probably won't fold to me, and he's probably kind of this like solid tournament player.
It's like unreal.
He's a very charming guy also in my experience, so how about that? I think he's like also an aggressive player who's capable of moves, but also capable of laying down big hands when necessary.
Did you say I can't win flips?
But he's not afraid to call. I imagine he'd be pretty solid. I don't know like a whole lot about his game other than that, and I know he's a very smart guy from my experience with him.
This is like ridiculous. I think he has a really good heart. He's just, we're all wired differently, and he was given a gift, which is the ability to see deeper into stats and math than almost anyone.
It makes me so mad.
Everything's about balance, and whenever you're going to be that intelligent and that powerful, some other areas you're not going to be as well-rounded in.
Oh my God, Paul.
I think people are quick to judge people because they're just they don't see things the same way that they do. Whereas you should just step back and respect the greatness in someone like him. There's never going to be someone that could outthink him in like a big heads-up, no-limit game.
Koon with the advantage, 1-0 up in this best of 3 for a place on the final table, but he's not there yet.
I wonder if Koon's going to limp here or what he's doing.
Call.
Yeah, he's tired of getting popped.
Yeah. I thought he'd just be scared of getting raised
Jungleman picks
here.
a good time not to be relentless.
Oh,
uh-oh.
hello.
Well, if this had been a raised pot,
I think Jungle should lead there. I thought this was something Brian was doing very well in our match, and I think that's just a great flop for Jungle to be betting out here.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because now he's going to check call for sure, unless
check.
Wow.
Jason checks back this flush.
Why would you? Because you can only get one street of value.
Oh wow, and that's a terrible card.
That's the worst
for
card
Koon,
in the world for Koon.
Because Jungleman's scared that Koon has ace high, and
yeah, he's just gonna bet.
He's gonna try and block bet.
Bet 8,000.
Yeah, see, he's trying to block bet him off here.
And he's gonna get a little, a little bit of a temperature check from Jason. Definitely raising.
32.
Now,
Raise 32,000.
the way this board ran out,
It's not supposed to happen.
Jungle's gonna be a bit surprised.
But he's not going to think about calling yet. Jungle lost very few chips that hand, and that went incredibly well. Honestly, I think there was a lot of luck involved on both sides as to how that happened, but he could have been whacked at least twice as hard.
He loses a lot more on the river if the ace doesn't come. The Jungle does.
But if there's bets,
I feel if Brian and I play that hand, from either side, like, we get stacked.
Yeah.
Like, if I had the flush
Queen
or
Jack
Brian had
versus
the
King
flush, I think
six
we get
hand,
stacked.
I mean, you guys managed to lose very few chips.
On which one?
The Queen Jack versus King 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I still should have lost.
There was a 3 flush on the board, I think, right? If I remember.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't.
No, that was a different one.
You just check called 2 pair on the flop, and then I checked back because I had a bad feeling, and then I ignored it and raised the river anyways.
Yeah. Jason was like, I can't believe Scott's betting this flop. And he's like, wow, what a check on the turn.
Yeah, there was another hand that I could have lost a lot more chips on, too. There was a flop. You had the 9-10. It was 7-8-9. I actually flopped 2 pair on that hand.
Jason just went all in there. You see Jungle put his head back. He's getting frustrated again. Jason just check raised all in.
I think Jungle feels the inevitability here. Right here, he's like, oh no, I might actually lose. You can see it in his face right there. He's going to 3-bet the next hand. I would be very wary of a Jungle re-raise right here.
And how do you counteract it?
Well, I think they're going to get all in this hand.
Yeah.
He might just shit pull there. Yeah.
It's too good.
That's the fill
Call in, yeah.
Just all of them but a little.
Oh.
Call. All in, call.
Wow, this is so big.
I thought they were getting all in there
This
for
is
sure.
to punch a ticket to the final table or have Jungle have a 3-1 lead. I mean, this is like...
This is huge.
This is such a sweat for
both of them,
Jason especially. I mean, he's feeling the pressure even more in Jungle, I think.
Well, Scott, what's going to happen? Because you know.
Jungle's kind of over it.
It's gonna be a dry flop. It's going to be King 10-4, something like that. But I'm a little nervous about the river, I gotta say. A lot of aces have been coming on rivers today.
Yeah, they have.
Jungle lets Jason know he's a slight favorite. Oh, that's not a good flop. Got the diamond back.
What about now, Jungle?
Let's see if I can river it.
This is looking problematic for the Jungleman.
Very problematic. 2 outs.
Oh, that was it.
It's ending too soon.
Nope. You there it goes.
Good game, buddy. Yeah, I do have you covered.
Jason Koon going to the final table. That's what he set out to do. He's been super focused, and I kind of think the Jungleman got a little bit of a raw rub there. But
definitely,
that's this format.
That's just how it goes.
Yo, did you bluff me?
Which hand?
Like ever?
Which
Any
hand?
of those hands.
Any of those hands?
Pre-flop, I bluffed you twice. Post-flop, I didn't bluff you at all.
Oh, really? The one hand I had King 10 where you check raised me on the river.
Yeah,
I thought maybe you could do it with like King Queen and like no one really ever bluffs there.
Yeah, I would definitely do it with King Queen.
No, he's still lying.
I had better than King
This is
Queen.
a Jason Koon lied to a man he
Rivered
just
7s
beat
full.
in a
I was
tournament.
just going to play for 50x with 7s. I knew it was thin, but I thought it was good against you.
Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
If I had a pair of 5s, this is all in for sure.
People give you flack. You're a class act. I'm going to like make stands for Jungleman from now on. Like you deserve it. You're a much nicer guy than people say you are sometimes.
Who says I'm not nice?
I just say people say like you're yeah. It's like one of those things. I never really played with you or knew you, but I understand completely where you're coming from all the time. You're just really competitive with yourself, and I think you're a classy, nice guy. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good games, man.
Jason is through the heads-up stages and heading straight for the final table. I know it's been kind of a rough road getting there, so talk to me about the journey so far.
It's been one of those things where I usually just handle poker really well, but I go through like cyclical phases of sometimes it just affects me more than others. And this week's been kind of brutal, and it's just been kind of hard for me to cope with. So before I played my heads-up match, I just remember finally getting a feeling of like overwhelming gratitude for my life and for where I'm at. And I was just okay with the results either way. And so it just felt good to just let go of it, regardless if I won or lost the heads-up match. So the week's been tough, but overall, I got to a good point.
Up next, it's Duhamel versus Seiver for the last seat at the final table.
This is the Party Poker Premier League, and you're watching the Heads Up Playoffs. Before the break, Jason Koon beat Daniel Cates heads up to secure his spot at the final table. But who will be joining him there? Scott Seiver or Jonathan Duhamel? It's time to find out.
Scott Seiver needed a big result in the last match to push himself out of the elimination zone into the playoffs. And he did it in style, taking down maximum points.
My Premier League has been all ups and downs. I've had 2 zeros, a first and a second, so I've had both ends of the spectrum, but I'm still here, still fighting.
Duhamel had to keep ahead of at least 2 out of the bottom 4 players, and a 3rd place spot was enough to seal the heads up.
Well, I'm pretty confident in my general heads-up game. But Scott is, at the top of the ladder. He's a very tough opponent, so it's gonna be pretty tough. I think I'm gonna have to take some chances, try to gamble a little bit, take some spot that I wouldn't take otherwise. So yeah, I'm sure to get it out there and just gamble it up.
Heads up for a place at the final table. I'm joined here by Phil Sabbah.
Yep.
And one of the guys who makes things happen here at Playground Poker Club.
6,000.
Phil, obviously you know Jonathan Duhamel quite well because he's really one of the heroes of the whole scene here, isn't he?
Sure, yeah. John is very well liked, not just in Montreal. I think he's liked all around the world when it comes to poker and the poker circuit. But he's a great guy. He's a great player, and obviously I'm rooting for him at this point.
7,000.
You're allowed to. That's definitely acceptable. In fact, it would probably be
7,000
it would
call?
be wrong if you didn't. I mean, you have to have your heart on your sleeve here. Duhamel has outflopped Scott Seiver, and I'm guessing Scott can get away from this hand on the turn. We'll see. Interestingly, I'm wondering if he would probably expect Jonathan to check back an ace a lot of times. So when Jonathan bets here, Scott might think that there's some bluffs
19,000
that he would have here. Well, he got away from it. Scott's a good hand reader, but Jonathan definitely has the chip lead here by a few thousand. Yeah, Duhamel's been the guy in this Premier League, Phil. He just it's like he has no fear at all. He's just sort of he just takes one look through people, and he's I think he's very well respected in the high stakes community. And the blind's going up now. Time to put up the blinds. There is not much room to hide in this heads-up match, but I've been amazed throughout this Premier League at just how good these guys are. I don't think Seiver has made a bad river decision in this entire Premier League. And Duhamel, not far off either.
It's going to be a big hand.
Right, Duhamel, he could certainly look to get him in here.
All in?
All in. Well,
wow. And I mean, that was a huge 3-bet shove. And Seiver, you swallow twice, both these guys do, because they know it's a flip. And who does the deck like, pretty much?
Jonathan.
We are in Montreal, obviously. We are in Montreal, after all.
Nothing yet.
Heart would not be a bad miss for Duhamel. Give him pick up some more outs. Can make the backdoor flush draw.
Got some backdoor straight draws out there also. Oh, not anymore.
Needs to be an ace or 10 here. And it is Seiver all in, by the way. So Duhamel is still going to have some chips left, although it's not many. And
That just shows how these heads-up matches go. There was very little in it.
87,000.
It's been slowly in the opening match, but pow! Seiver wins the flip and takes the lead. Heat 1 saw the Premier League poker champion eliminated first for 0 points.
It's always painful to lose regardless of anything else, but try my best and I'll get back at it.
Heat 2 was a much stronger showing, with a second place finish. Heat 4, the tables turned. Seiver saw his big hands crack. First, Locke hit the straight against his aces. Then Esfandiari rivered a straight against Seiver's pocket kings to eliminate him with the bagel for the second time this tournament. But in Heat 6, Seiver went all out. He needed a big result to make the playoffs, and that's exactly what he got, eliminating player after player to book his place in this heads-up battle.
Yeah.
This last heat, everything just went well. I picked up a lot of big hands, all my all-ins held, and I was lucky enough to win. It would be huge for me to get through today and make the final table. I've been on the brink of elimination the entire time of this tournament, and with a win today, I can finally put all that behind me and make it to the final table.
Obviously, this is a really quick format, and they're just playing best of 3 matches here. It's heads up. There's not many big blinds, but there is a little bit of skill, so we're going to get to see. And Scott Seiver's no slouch himself.
Definitely not, but I don't know. In this heads-up match, I'm rooting for Jonathan all the way.
All in.
Here we go. So Seiver's shoved on Duhamel's effective stack, and this is kind of a hand that plays itself as well, really. And if Duhamel can make this king-jack work, and that's a good start, he'll be right back in this match.
Oh.
Yeah, that opens up the door, doesn't it? 8 for straight.
And the
ouch.
Good game.
Good game.
And that's pretty much all you can say. So Duhamel goes down 1-0. It felt like kind of hard to separate these guys. 2 races, 2 all-ins before the flop, and good game.
So we do best of 7, right?
yeah.
Scott Seiver and Jonathan Duhamel are locked in battle for the last remaining seed at the Premier League final table. The score is 1-0 to the former champion Seiver. Let's head back to the action.
These guys have had sort of 2 different roads in this Premier League to get here. Seiver had 2 terrible heats early on, and then kind of clawed his way back. Duhamel, on the other hand, I don't think he's had a top 2 finish in this Premier League yet. So he's probably been the most consistent player in the Premier League,
17,000.
and has just gotten here by virtue of never having a terrible finish. So I think this is the first 3-bet. I mean, obviously Duhamel 3-bet shove with the ace-10. This is definitely the first light 3-bet, and
17,000 call.
Duhamel on it. He's definitely going to peel off the flop with the 9-10 suited. And now I'm guessing Jonathan be willing to get them in here.
Check.
Scott's got bottom pair and has checked it. He hasn't checked to fold. I wonder if he's checked to raise or just checked to call. And you get in these spots when you have a flush draw where you're a little scared of getting check raised because you don't want to be check raised off your flush draw. Knowing Jonathan, though, my guess is if Scott did decide to raise,
14,000 call.
But he's peeled off, so we're going to see the turn. And this is going to be one of those super decisive pots. Duhamel needs to win this one.
Oh,
that's not good. That is not good for him. Almost impossible, I think, for Jonathan to put Scott on a 5 here.
Yeah, I can't see him checking right now.
Check.
Oh,
wow. Clever check.
That's why I'm not Jonathan Duhamel. That's
yeah, he's missed it, but he actually gave himself a chance to hit the flush and not go broke.
Check.
And sneaky check on the river by Seiver, trying to induce the bluff. Duhamel did not fall for it. He basically gave Duhamel 2 chances to go broke there, and Jonathan didn't go for either.
He really is that good. I mean, it's very rare that I get to see it this close and just see these guys play the hands out. That's unbelievable.
Scott Seiver ahead 1-0, and he's got the chip lead on Jonathan Duhamel halfway through this first level. And that puts Jonathan Duhamel in the corner.
6,000.
Sort of having watched Jonathan this season and last, my guess is he's going to sort of react to being in the corner, not by playing tight, but by trying to find a good spot. Let's get the money in.
He hasn't gone those spots yet. That deuce 4 and the 7 deuces he's been getting, but
I mean, you only get about 20 hands to pick one, right?
Yeah.
Check.
I wonder if I wonder if they might both check it down, thinking they've got showdown value.
5,000 call.
Well, it seems like Duhamel realizes he's going to have to bluff to win this one now, or hit.
And there you go.
There you go.
Check.
Now, is there a value bet here for Duhamel? It's thin.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Scott could easily have played an ace like this, right?
Yeah.
12,000.
That's just cool. That is super cool. Because I feel like from where Scott's sitting, he's saying, well, he would with the flush out there. He may be bluffing. Wow. What do I know?
It's a good bet on the river. I couldn't see Scott making that call. So really, you're only going to be called by a hand that was going to beat you.
Right. Close contest, this heads-up clash. World champion Duhamel looking to make his 2nd Premier League final table in a row. Heat 2 was a roller coaster ride for Jonathan Duhamel. He lost a flip against the Jungleman, leaving himself with just one big blind.
Playing a chip left.
With an ace, he was all in on the next hand. Seiver and Jungle went along, and Seiver inexplicably bet on the turn, forcing Jungle to fold. A 4 on the river would have given Jungleman 2 pair, and it should have been good night Montreal for Duhamel.
I would have made 2 pair. Why'd you have to bet?
Good job, Scott. Good job.
That led to the greatest comeback in Premier League history as he fought back to chip leader.
Made for TV. Just made for TV.
He had to settle, though, for 3rd place. Heat 3 was a disaster, leaving with just 1 point. Duhamel fared better in Heat 4, taking down 7 points.
I was about to win, I'm going to lose.
Keeping middle of the pack throughout the league, a 3rd position finish in the final heat secured his heads-up spot.
It would be pretty amazing to make it to the final table, to do it twice in a row, because I did it in the last Premier League. But definitely, I mean, no matter what's going to happen against Scott, I know it's going to be a tough heads-up. So win or lose, probably going to be happy, but we'll be much, much happier making the final table.
Wow, I haven't even noticed, but Duhamel brought his stack back up, and they're almost even again.
Yeah. So it's almost like a reset.
Call. Raise 16,000 total.
And that's not a huge raise. I wonder.
Call.
The one thing he didn't want to do was fold there. He wants to see that flop somehow. Got a piece.
Bet 10,000.
He might just go to the wall here. Would you?
That's the choice you got to make. It's either you're pushing all in or you're going to let it go. You can't just call this. There you go. I would have done the same thing.
Very gutsy.
He's got mid pair. Either you're basically saying that does he have the king or not? That's it.
And for Seiver, big decision in this heat. I guess in his mind, does Duhamel have any draws here that he can beat? He knows he can't call just to hit an ace or a jack.
And there aren't many draws out there. So really, he's either making a move on you or he has a piece.
Right.
And making a move with what? What can he have? You got to believe him at this point. It's either he has rags or he's got you.
Really giving it some thought. I wonder if in his mind, Duhamel could be turning like, you know, ace-9 or ace-10 or something like that into a bluff.
Definitely a possibility.
Maybe even ace-5. Although with those hands, he probably would have limp shoved. So, yeah, he decided to let it go. Decided he was beat. I feel like Seiver there, Phil, I mean, he could have just shoved pre-flop if he had wanted to. I guess he thought the hand was, what, just too strong not to try and get a little extra value out of it.
I think that's the problem with getting a strong hand heads up. You know, do you want to risk the guy folding, or do you think you can maximize by seeing a flop and you choose to see the flop and you completely miss? What are you going to do at that point? Your ace high doesn't look so good anymore when somebody's pushing into you.
What a case in point! And Seiver, he limps in with the ace-queen, and Duhamel is going to smash him here. I think
this heat is over.
We're even. This heat is over.
This heat is over.
Raise 15,000.
There is no way you get away from this if you're Scott Seiver.
Call.
That's an interesting call. He, again, probably thinks he's going to try to milk it. But
Right.
there's the clubs out there. Why?
Yeah, he's probably thinking, well, if Duhamel is bluffing with air, why do I just let him hang himself?
All in. Bet all in.
Wow. I don't think there's any way he can fold here.
No.
Wow. Does he think he can
All
fold?
in, call.
No.
4.
He knows it. You knew it, but still you had to see it. And that will make this match even, unless, of course, the ace comes on the river. And they'll now be playing one heads-up match for everything.
Take 2 minutes.
Duhamel back against the wall, came out firing, and for Seiver, the ace-queen limp proved costly. They're going to take a short break, wash their face, and prepare to play for everything. Scott Seiver takes a step closer to making the final table, but you can't write off a world champion. Can Duhamel come back?
Welcome back to the Playground Poker Club, where it's all about the heads up. Scott Seiver and Jonathan Duhamel are locked in battle for the last remaining seat at the Premier League final table. The score is 1-1. Let's head back to the action for the deciding game in this heads up playoff.
The stakes couldn't be any bigger than this. It's best of 3, but it's 1-1. As you said, Phil, lose and go home, win and go to the final table. There's all that prize money on there.
This is pretty much a 40K heads-up match right now, right?
At least. You know, that's what you're guaranteed the final, but of course, the chance to win $400,000, the Premier League title.
Bet 7,000.
I feel like even if you're, you know, one of the highest stakes players in the world, you're not used to playing a hyper turbo for $40,000 minimum.
Definitely not.
This will get your blood pumping.
Check. Check.
Oh, we've got something. It's the second nut flush versus the third nut flush. This is a bit of a pot. So it was Duhamel
Bet
raised.
14,000.
Bet call on the turn, on the flop. Check on the turn.
Call.
Yeah. And straight value for Seiver on the river. He got quite lucky there.
He should have bet more, in my opinion, because either you're getting a call or a fold. There's no in between, and Jonathan can't raise you unless he has you beat. So
I like that thought. Seiver may regret not getting extra value there on that flush.
I've got tons of respect for the guy. He's an amazing player, very talented. So definitely it's going to be a very tough heads-up match.
Just outrageous.
I think he might be like the best player out there out of the 12 players in the Premier League. Definitely a pretty big challenge. But let's get out there, gamble, and see what happens.
The fish collected, the pros lost.
Many main event champions in the past have played a few tournaments here and there and then quietly disappeared.
Oh, that's good. I love it. I love it.
Jonathan Duhamel, since winning the main, plays all the tournaments, all the high rollers, all the super high rollers, and competes at the highest level.
I get you a beer if you fold.
I think that's just so impressive that you can achieve really what's the ultimate goal in poker and still be hungry for more.
There's an automatic thing going on here where they kind of like, they almost know before they look at the hand what they're going to be shoving with. I feel like he's shoving this.
All in.
Yeah.
All in. Call. Call.
And wow, Seiver called him with queen high. It is good. And 62% of the time, Scott Seiver's going forward to the final table here, Phil. Duhamel needs some Montreal help. Oh, that's not looking
He's
good.
not getting it.
No.
All right.
Trying to fit 3%. What does he need? Running cards for sure.
6 and an 8.
Hey,
oh,
that's one.
He got one.
That would be funny.
It's always something.
Any 9 or 2 of the 7s. Got to avoid the 7 of spades. Is no good.
No, that's it.
Again, John.
And I don't think there was much separating these two players, Phil. Just seems to be Scott Seiver on the day going to the final table. And I know the local fans will be a bit disappointed, but Jonathan Duhamel he's had a strong Premier League, and it's just fallen short at the end here.
Hopefully.
Our Season 5 champion is taking another run at a Premier League title, and you kind of had a hard road to get to the final. So give me your impressions of the Premier League this season for you.
Premier League so far has been incredible. It's been an absolute emotional roller coaster from the lowest of lows, highest of highs now, had 2 zeros, and here I am at the final table now, though.
It's incredible, and so you're, no stranger to a little adversity. You're going in with a shorter chip stack at the final. How much will that affect you?
The short stack is obviously huge, but I'm just going to try and maneuver as best as I can and see what happens.
Good luck in the final.
Thank you.
This is how the chips look at the final table. Each of our 6 players have been allocated a set number of chips according to their league finish, plus a bonus 1,000 chips for every point gained. Jeff goes to the top there, same points as Dan Coleman, but with higher finishes across all his heats. Sorrel Mizzy and Brian Rast also finished top 4 to make it through automatically. Scott Seiver and Jason Koon are 2 players getting their seats by way of the heads-up playoffs.
What a final table lineup. Next time, 6 of poker's most exciting names take their seats to compete for the title of Premier League champion here at Playground Poker Club in Montreal.
I really don't feel I won, but I really don't feel I lost.
I have standards, Scott.
That's what I get for being a friendly neighbor, huh?
I mean, that was insane.
Show me your hand. This is Premier League. There's no rules.
Come on.
Ah!